I've recreated El Pollo Loco's new fit chicken bowl, not to make it healthy-ish, but to make it truly healthy. It's anti-inflammatory and nutrient-rich. This recipe won't contain GMO corn, cholesterol, or trans fat from chicken, or a whopping 2,030 milligrams of salt like theirs does. I even transformed plant protein into delicious, crispy chicken bites. This tastes just as good as it looks. Let me show you how I make it. 3 cans of black beans, thoroughly rinsed and drained. Tofu has been pressed for a couple hours. I'm just going to dry it a little bit more, take off that extra moisture so it can absorb the seasoning. Tear this just to make it look more like chicken pieces, different sizes, which is exactly what I want. Some small, some bigger. Definitely want the edges to be a bit rough. And I'm using 2 blocks of tofu, which will serve 4 people. I'm going to season it with about 2 tablespoons of coconut aminos. This gives it a salty flavor and more flavor. Garlic powder, onion powder, cumin, a little bit of chipotle for some heat, a little bit of chili powder, and some smoked paprika for some smokiness, as if it was grilled. Stir this so that the seasoning is coated completely. Add a little bit more coconut aminos, so 3 to 4 tablespoons. Cover and let sit and marinate for at least 30 minutes up to overnight. This is what 2 blocks looks like. I did actually eat a couple pieces, so there was a little bit more. I've dumped this onto a parchment lined paper cookie sheet and I'm going to put it in the oven that's preheated for 350 degrees. I'm going to bake it for 20 minutes and then I'm going to air fry it for an additional 10. I've got frozen corn and I'm going to scoop out 4 cups. And I'm going to add that right on top of the black beans. And then I'm going to rinse these with water until the corn is defrosted. But I don't want to like cook the corn with warm water. So it's just going to be room temperature water. And I want 4 full cups because corn is sweet and delicious. So I'm just going to rinse this and then distribute the corn with my fingers, and then I can taste it periodically just to make sure there are no frozen pieces. You can see like here, they're in chunks, and just separate them. It won't take long, about a minute. 1 red bell pepper, which I'm going to core and seed and dice. Getting rid of the center white pieces and the tops and the bottom. For some crunch, I'm adding red, or this might be purple. It looks the same when you look at it at the store and online. Cabbage, and what's wonderful about this is that it's sweet and crunchy. So I am pulling off the limp leaves. Look, those are yucky. And I want the crispy pieces. So you can just tell by feeling it. So I'm going to cut off a wedge. And your wedge will determine how much you want. And I want a lot of this extremely nutritious cruciferous vegetable. So I'm just going to slice off very thin slices. which will make it easier to eat. For the dressing, I have 2 cups of fresh chopped mangoes. These are really deliciously sweet. And some fresh cilantro. Remove the leaves from the stems. Even though I'm going to chop this in the mixer, the stems don't taste good, so remove any icky pieces and chop it thoroughly. Cilantro gives it freshness. Add the mangoes, cilantro, 1 tablespoon of lime juice. Blend until fully incorporated. I put the mango dressing in a bowl so people can just scoop as much as they want. Look how pretty. Oh, it's so sweet, and the lime is delicious. Add some brightness to it. I've added some black olives to the bowl for people who like it, and they can just take however many they want. Here's the bowl so far. The tofu is done baking. I'm just going to add a splash more of coconut aminos. I'm trying to add only about a tablespoon, just so it's not dry. Add just a little bit more flavor. And then I'm just going to take the spatula and just scoop it on there. I don't want to saturate it too much, just a little bit. And then I want the tofu just to set a little bit. So I'm going to remove it off the heat and let it cool down just a little bit to firm up. Adding a half of a diced red onion to the mix. We are adding corn tortilla chips. I'll put the recipe on how we make these that are crispy without oil at the end screen. This looks so good. I really like the sweetness from English cucumbers, and I'm removing the skin because I find that very bitter. Just chopping this and adding to the mix. Coconut aminos, adding a little more saltiness and more flavor. Hot sauce, Frank's, generous amount. Gotta have some heat. Dice about 2 tablespoons of jarred jalapenos. A little bit of juice from the jalapenos. Salt. Garlic powder. Onion powder. Cumin. Oregano. Generous amount. Red chili peppers. Chipotle pepper. I should have added sliced fresh iceberg lettuce, but I forgot, but that would be a really nice addition. Toss well to combine. Now that is a healthy fit bowl. It's not healthy-ish. It's healthy. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Add the dressing. Black olives with some more pepitas. There it is. Let's try it. Crunchy from the cruciferous. Corn is sweet. The avocado is creamy. Chicken, perfect. If you make this vegan Mexican power bowl, let me know how it stands up to the original. I put the baked oil-free tortilla chip recipe my husband created at the end screen so you can make those too. And if you love Mexican food as much as I do, I've also included one of my favorite recipes, way better than this one. It's my husband's bean taquitos. So I'll put that on the end screen as well. Let me know if you have any questions. Hope to see you soon. For my favorite low-fat, oil-free, plant-based vegan recipes, order my cookbook with vegan nutrition facts on how to prevent and reverse disease like I did, which chronicles my personal health and weight loss story through my website, thehighfivediet.com.